Hey gang, Shane Patrick White here, and welcome to Beyond the Process. If you remember, some time ago we had you vote on which uncommon inking tool I should try. Out of all 6 candidates, the Bronson won. That's right, I'm about to ink a comic page using a dried out stick. But first, I need to fashion it into something more usable and show you how to build an interesting tool with just a little imagination. In my last video, I created a thumbnail of Marvel Comics' Man-Thing and blew it up to full size to show you how to speed up the comic book production process. But today, I'm going to ink that page using the Bronson. So, if you'd like to see me do the impossible with an ordinary stick, then sit back, relax, and enjoy the process. This is the second part of a 2-part series. So here we are with a stick. It's from a Japanese maple tree just outside my studio. Fashioning it into a usable tool, it helps to understand what a traditional tool like this pen nib does. The metal splits when pressed to release ink. But why make just one tool? Grabbing my tenon saw, I cut the stick in half and begin to find the natural hand feel that I want to grip with. Marking it off, I can then understand how the profile should look and what I should cut away. The wider end stick looks good as a way to lay down a lot of ink, but it needs shaping. Using sandpaper, a jackknife, and heck, even an old pencil sharpener gives me a 2-sided tool. One side will be more pointed for finer detail. Back to the first stick to shape the end into more of a scoop, I grab an X-Acto blade. Cutting away material to get it more accurately shaped will help decrease how much I need to sand away. I also wanted to mimic the ink reservoir in the steel nib, as well as splitting it so when it's pressed down, the ink is released. Because of the rigidity of the cellulose, I'm not sure it'll quite be the same, but it's close. For the heck of it, I break out the torch to see if I can burn the wood to harden it in some way. Doing this will hopefully keep the ink from soaking into the sticks. Looking back on this though, I think I should have just coated them in shellac instead. Because it's not quite what I want, I only burned one of them just to be safe. Now going back to my enlarged thumbnail sketch, I use Speedball Super Black ink that I've filled into an old marker cap that I use for dipping. I quickly try out a few strokes on the original thumbnail and am quite pleased with the results. Now, let's get to work. The first things I notice are the versatility and variety of the mark making. Right out of the gate, I can use the split end stick up and down or from side to side and get a very different look. Like I thought, the stick is soaking up a lot of ink and requires me to dip the utensil more frequently. at some point the natural material will saturate it and solidify it more with time. I give the wide stick a go to see what I can do, and I think it's going to play more of a role for specialty marks if anything. There's still a lot of ways to hold these tools to get different looks and feels. I jump around trying out different areas, pushing rhythm and texture to see what I can and cannot convincingly do. Notice how I spin the tools using them at all sorts of angles. You won't know their full capabilities unless you try. When doing this, I avoid areas of focus, especially if there's a chance I'll screw something up. Be mindful of this if you want to avoid using white gouache for covering up your mistakes. I'm pretty impressed with how fun these tools are to work with. Of course, the scale of the subject matter makes this experiment much easier. Imagine if I had several buildings, cars, and people in perspective. I might have been cursing a lot by this point. It's not to say that these tools couldn't do that, but it would be something I'd have to build up to. When I finally settle on some of the more important parts of the illustration, I have a strong idea of tool performance. The marks are more reliable, and I've found a unified system of line making that gives me the texture I need to make everything read clearly. The real lesson here is finding a way to make transitions work, since I don't have the thicks and thins of feathering. I only have cross-hatching and spotting of blacks. Surprisingly, the tools do dry brush really well. I'm able to create a halftone look, which tells me I'll need to scan this in grayscale if I want to retain that. Overall, I'm impressed with the results and stoked about trying to make more tools in the future. I really hope you enjoyed taking this journey with me, and hope that if you should try some of these inking methods yourself, you post the results in the comments below. Good luck with your own work, and remember, have fun.
Thanks again for joining me today. If you found any value in this, hit the like button. Better yet, subscribe or tell a friend. Until next time, thanks for watching.